Hey, what is happening, you awesome people? Welcome back to a brand new video into the iOS 10 development course. In this video, we're going to be talking about arrays. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we're going to open up Xcode and start off with the playground. We're using the same playground that we were using previously in the video. Just before we start talking about arrays, let's talk about how, if we have written some kind of code in our application and we want to put the entire bits of code into a comment like this, how can we do that to it all instead of going it one by one, just like that? There is another way how to do this, and that is, let me show you. We're going to start off by saying backslash and a star, and now everything that's written after that would be considered a comment unless otherwise we stop it. And to stop that, we can do just the opposite of what we did in the beginning. So star and backslash, and there we go. And it's all done. Alright, arrays. So if you guys remember, variables are a jar that holds some kind of data in it that you can relate to afterwards and use it in your application. On the other side, arrays are a bigger jar that has many different kinds of variables saved inside of it that you can access later on in the application and use it. I hope you understand that. If you didn't, let me go over it one more time with an example. If you go on Twitter, and I hope you guys use it, it's a really good application. Anyways, Twitter is an application that uses tweets, which are basically just the information or certain words that someone writes, and it saves it onto the profile of the person. And for this particular person that we are looking at, it's called Google Developers. They have tweeted 4,000 times. Let's just assume that Twitter saves their data like this. So every time someone writes a tweet, they have this code for that. Variable tweet equals hello there. Let's just say this is the first tweet that the person made. So they were very excited. Hello there, this is my first tweet. Okay? And then the next day they woke up again and they wrote another tweet saying, hello, it is an interesting app. And then the next day they woke up and they said, tweet 2, I kinda am getting used to this app. And then the next day they said, hey, check out my picture. And then they attach a picture and stuff like that. I hope you guys understand that doing it like this would be extremely hard for the actual application itself or the person who's writing this application as well. So the developer who's writing this application, he had to write a lot of code to do the exact same thing. This is where, and coding is all about making things easier on both ends. So for developers and for the users as well. Just remember that if you have to write the same bits of codes too many times, that means you're doing something wrong. And this is where they came up with the new way to store data called arrays. As I mentioned in the beginning, variables are just jars that hold bits of information in it, but arrays are a bigger jar that hold the actual variables in it. Alrighty, so we're gonna say variable all tweets equals, and we're going to arrays always start off with these braces or bigger brackets or simply brackets, whatever you want to call it. By the way, these are braces and these are, I believe, called brackets. Doesn't really matter because I don't care about that anyways. So they start off with these brackets, and what we have to do is simply add everything in it. Tweet 1, tweet 2, and then tweet 3. Alright, I hope you guys understand how this method is a lot better than this method, because we are just writing small amount of code to save all of this data right here. Okay, so they are making an array with all of these tweets in it. 1 to 4,000 basically tweets in it, which you can use later on whenever you have to. So when you have to reply to a tweet, you can use that specific tweet by something called their index number. Index number is actually the location of that tweet in the array. Indexes always start from, just to give you an idea, 0. So the very first one would be called 0, 1, 2, 3. And that is why I started off by 1 here, not here. Alrighty, just to make things clear. Now, if I was to print all tweets, what do you guys think would be printed? I really hope that you guys said just the exact words written right here and not what these variables are holding. Because here we are using the same variables but as words by putting them in these quotation marks. Right? And if we were to make an actual array with all these variables, then we would have to name it like this: tweet, and then tweet 1, and then tweet 2, and then tweet 3. Alright, I hope you guys see what this does. So let's just print the first tweet. All tweets. So this basically just prints out everything that's written in there within these quotation marks. And this would simply print the actual value within these variables. Alright, and I hope you guys understand how this method is much more better than using this method in an application like Twitter, which uses a lot of information and saves each one of them. Alright, now since in Twitter you can reply to tweet, you can like it, you can retweet it, you can also delete your own tweets and stuff like that. So there are a whole bunch of different things that you can do with the tweet. And since we are saying that they're using arrays, the same things you should be able to do in an array as well. And yes, that is 100% true. We can do all of that, well, almost, yeah, all of that in our arrays. So we can call the name of the array dot. If we were to add another tweet, if someone did another tweet, we can simply append it into our array. And in here, we're just going to say whatever we want to add into it. So tweet 4. Sorry. Not like that. We're just going to say it like this. Not even like that. We're just going to say it like this. And that has been appended onto our tweet. It's not shown here just because of the fact that we haven't printed it out yet. Print all tweet. This time you should be able to see the tweet 4 in there as well. So right there. Now, if you notice that they are counting all the tweets as well. So again, we can definitely count everything that we have in the array as well by simply doing a count. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. There we go. And this should give you all the information right here. So all tweets, this array right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we added another one, 5 right here, has total of 5 variables in it. I really hope that you guys see how amazing this is, and we actually see the live example of that happening in one of the biggest applications currently going on. Well, it's basically everywhere, but I hope you understand what's going on. Again, if someone deletes their tweet, we're simply going to do dot remove. We can either remove all of them, last one, first one, or a specific one, whichever we want to. Now, at integer, again, it starts off by 0, which is the first one. So let's just say we want to delete number 2. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2. Out 2. And now when we print all tweets, this would be removed from the information. So it's 0, 1, uh-oh, it's not there anymore. Magically, it's gone. Now, if we were to have a look at our own tweets by days, by time, or by the amount of likes that you have, so different kind of ways that you can sort these tweets. The same thing is happening here as well, where we can actually sort our tweets. Dot sort. Sort by, sort and split. All of these things you can definitely do that. You can split them, join them. You can do many things, which is great. You can look them all up. I won't get into each and every one of them in terms of that detail. But yeah, if you want to know what this exactly does, you can press down the command button on your keyboard and click on any of these right here. And this will take you to the actual documentation written by the pros. So you can see exactly what these do. Oh, sorry. I was reading the wrong one. So sort is actually basically all the information is given above. Sort is sorts the collection in the place. You're sorting it out by alphabets or the numbers and stuff like that. How awesome is that? So there are a whole bunch of documentation you can go through. Spend some time on it so you are a professional. That's the only way to learn. Anyways, let's move on. You can go back. If you declare the array like that, it would automatically know that these are all strings. You can also declare explicitly by saying string, and that's another way that you can do that as well. So you know visually that this is a string array and these are all the strings as well. It doesn't really matter. I think it's being frowned upon to do it like that, but yeah, as much as you have to, you can use it like this. So you don't have to explicitly mention that this is the type of array that you're using. Anyways, since I mentioned in the beginning that you can have various kind of variables into the arrays, the same way you can have an array that has all the integers in it. These are all the strings, these are all the integers and stuff like that. You can also create just an array, just like when someone signs up into Twitter, a new array which is just empty is created for them to save all the tweets into it. So we can say var tweet array for new sign up, and this will be just an empty array. And then every time someone does, what just happened? Did I miss something here? Okay. So this basically says that the empty arrays must have a type in it. Like, what kind of array is this? So they should start expecting the values in it. So let's just say tweet array for new sign up and is equal to an empty array of type string. You would have to explicitly mention what type it is only if it's an empty array which you want to use it later on in your application. And what is it saying right now? Tweet string for new array. Expected member number of constructor call after that. Now Swift 3, they have made a couple of different things where they want you to be exactly 100% sure about what you're doing, and you shouldn't be missing any of this. You could miss these two brackets, which are called the constructors or the initializers in the previous version, where you could initialize it later on before you start using it, but in Swift 3 you would have to initialize it right from the beginning. Alrighty, now that I have said this basically says that there is a variable which is called this, and this is not just a variable, it's an array by these two brackets. And what type of array it is, it's a string, and we are actually initializing it right now so we can use it later on. So every time someone adds a new tweet, we're simply going to append that new tweet into our array, just like that. And let's just say this is their new tweet. Hey, sup? Because they're cool, and this is their first tweet. And now when we print, what did we name it again? Tweet. This, we're going to see that this value is right there. And if we were to comment this out, what do we have? Nothing. It's an empty array, which has been initialized in the beginning, which is something that you have to do. Alrighty, I really hope that you guys understand what these arrays are and how we can manipulate them and stuff like that. As you guys can see that these arrays can get bigger very quickly, and to use them, to use their values and the data saved into it, there should be an easier way to access everything that's inside of it with the minimum amount of code possible. I'm actually referring to our next topic, which is called loops, which are just a small amount of code which keep on running. It could run infinite amount of time, or you can limit it to a certain amount of time as well. And we're going to get into that in the next video, and you're going to see that how easy it is to code just because of these things that we have in our languages. That's all I have for you awesome people. Just do some examples on your own about these arrays. Go look up in the documentation and see what you find new. Leave a comment in the description if you have any question, and I will hopefully be able to answer them. Peace, and I'll see you guys in the next one.